Okay, so these would be the first of the series that I will be sharing with you on desktop publishing, and these are somewhat some of the things that we've done already in class, and they shouldn't be too much for us to follow through on or with. So let's start from the very first part. We looked at what desktop publishing is, and it's basically just a way of creating documents, right? And your document could be, for example, a birthday invitation card. It could be a magazine. It could be a newspaper styled document, and the list just keeps going on and on and on and on. One thing that should come to mind when it comes to desktop publishing is how that in that first class we first looked at the advantages of using pictures to communicate. We looked at the advantages of using text to communicate. And then we found out that it is best practice, rule of thumb, should be to use both. When you use both text and pictures to communicate, you tend to communicate better, right? Don't forget that using text and pictures also has its own disadvantages, right? And we looked at all of this in the last class. For example, it could be too bulky for people you know, to figure out. I mean, it could be distracting. I mean, there's text and there's image. It could be distracting. Right? That's one of the downsides. But overall, the advantages they far outweigh the disadvantages. So, and that's why we've decided to stick to using, you know, text and images. And so I'm going to show to you some of these examples, right? So there are magazines, there are newspapers, there are, birthday cards that you can create with desktop publishing. Another thing that I think is very important that we familiarize ourselves with is this particular interface. These are universal icons, really. It doesn't matter what desktop tool or software you are using, right? Whether it's Canva, whether it's Microsoft desktop publishing app, or some other kind of software that helps you make documents, you're going to find that the interface is not too different from what you are seeing on the screen. For example, your font would always appear in a square or in a rectangle that looks something like this, like what you are seeing on the screen now, right? The Comic Sans font. And then of course you will also find that you can always change the size, right? If you don't find a drop down menu like this that allows you to change the size, you're going to find either an icon that looks like this, A pointing upwards, or A with this arrow pointing downwards. This is to increase your size, and of course this is to reduce your size. If you don't find any of these, also you may also find the letter T, right? All of this, whether it's this or this, they help you, you know tweak your font in some way, shape, or form. Of course, when you also want to change the color, you are looking at icons such as this that's on your screen, and then maybe icons like this. I also didn't mention this, but this also helps us to change size. So, in a nutshell, we've talked about what desktop publishing is. We've looked at examples of what you can create with skills in desktop publishing, and then we've also looked at universal fonts that you would find across all desktop publishing software. Do well to follow the next lesson.